G'day and welcome back for more Scrapyard Survival. Unfortunately, it is nighttime, which is not the best time for me to go out scrapping, and scrapping is exactly what I wanted to do. But I do have something I can do that will fill in a bit of the night and allow me to get something useful out of it, which is test my idea about having a flickering neon sign. Now, annoyingly, what I need is a battery and probably another grid that's got a bit of a base on it, a bit of a platform. And actually, I just rotate in such a way that I could have made this easy to do on this surface. On these block surfaces, it can be really hard to place additional blocks onto things like this little battery here. However, if I do it on voxel, it happily lets me do it. So I'm going to make a bit of a platform here. Now, if that's light enough, I might drag this now back into the spotlights, because the stuff that needed to be done over the voxels is already done. So I need a little bit of a backboard for doing my neon on, because having a bit of a backboard is going to make it a lot easier. There we go. Got a 5x5. Where's my neon? Let's go yellow. What to do for this part of the S? Maybe that. I'll do a different bit at the top to the bottom to see which bit looks better. Whether the bit going past, or whether I have to use a different curve, maybe? A very wonky looking S. Very wonky. But with neon, as you can tell, when it's powered, it glows. If I turn off this battery, it no longer glows. So you can have it turning on and off if the whole grid turns on and off. But if I've turned off that battery and that's the only power source on this grid, there's no way to turn it back on using a timer or something like that, because the timer needs to have power to run. So what we need is the neon to be on its own grid with something else intermittently providing power to it. And thankfully, with the change that was made a while ago to connectors working without power, that is possible. So if I place a connector here, and a connector here, then also place something like a block here, block there, and a landing gear. Landing gear is to ensure that when I disconnect the connectors, it still remains, this grid still remains in the right spot. So if I now put a block there to make sure that connector doesn't get disconnected, that's going to keep the grids locked as they are. Grind out this block here. They're now two separate grids, and this landing gear is now locking this one in place so it won't disconnect. And we can see, still have no power, but if I turn this battery on, and then I control the status of these connectors. Let's use the one that's on the powered grid. And if I switch lock, switch lock, switch lock, switch lock, we can have flickering neon. So all I need is probably a pair of timer blocks or a script running to intermittently turn this on and off. The reason a pair of timer blocks works better is that then you can have a more variable rate, because you have the timer blocks triggering each other. And so it's not exactly consistent when the thing switches back on and off. Because you want something that's a bit variable. But yeah, that's my plan for the lettering, is to put something like this up on a bridge if I find it. But also I need to figure out what the heck to make a better looking S. So this looks awful. And the other option, I guess, is do this. Have it curved down. Which is probably one of the neater ways, actually. Yeah. The nice thing about the neons, obviously, is that it's going to be visible at a big distance, regardless of whether I've got spotlights on the sign or not. The alternative option, which could have worked for the lettering as I've got it up there, would be to put an individual light for each letter. That gets to be quite a lot of light sources, and I think doing that in interior lights would end up with lighting that wouldn't quite be satisfactory for what the intent is with trying to get these things to work. So I think I prefer this style if I can make it work, even though it is a lot of work to put it together. I'm going to grind this thing down now that I have assured myself that it works. Alright, 3 AM's close enough to sunrise. It'll be fine. Oh, and look, that is... okay. What direction is... press the wrong button. That was sort of somewhere between southeast and southeast. Right, let's get the truck out. It is actually charged for once. Oh, it really doesn't have much light on it, this thing. Like, at all. Should probably fix that at some point. Okay, lights. Here, while I'm here, I may as well add some. Then I'm also going to add a couple of lights up here on the back of the truck because I have this bad habit of putting lights that are kind of ground lighting, but not actually lighting of the things that I need to look at. Or want to look at. Like, if we have a look at my truck over here, all of my lighting is below the deck, or on the deck. I've got nothing that lights up above there, which is... yeah. It's not great. I'm going to put, before I leave, a couple of lights on the crane to try and improve that. Not sure I've got a good spot to put one on the crane that's going to help me with distance perception. But maybe this would. And then I can probably also put one on each bit of this bit of the crane. Make this one nice and... let's go cyan. And just at 3 meters. With this light being a bright, obvious color, what'll happen is whenever that color starts to appear on the object that I'm about to connect to, I've got an idea that the crane head is actually getting close. And if it's not lighting up, then I'm not aligned at all to the thing that I need to be. Okay, that's something. Let's go that way. Oh, that's something as well. And that's something I have a much easier time lining up to, even though it's a little bit further away. I'm on my way. So as mentioned last week, the things that I'm going for that I'd get really excited by is a rail bridge, so I can use it for my signage, a bar, or a building that could be repurposed to be a bar. A whole bunch of computers. I need steel plates, even. Oh, actually, did I just do something dumb? No, I did. I did not empty this first. I don't have much room for those things, so hopefully I'll find some containers. Alright, I see power lines. I wonder if there is anything else with them. Maybe something just this way. Ah, the lighting on the truck is so much better with just those few extra changes. Because there's actual lighting coming from above on the truck. And same on the trailer. Okay, we've got a couple of things here. This is, and then whatever... Oh, is that just... Oh, that's just the broken... Never mind. What do we have here? I just had a thought. If I get a rail bridge, could I make a train into a sign and put it up on the rail bridge? I've got a locomotive at home. This does not appear to have much in it. Well, this one. I do want more little batteries though, so there might be some on board here. No, they're dead. They're dead, but they're not destroyed. Oh, this one doesn't have any power cells, so, but it does have everything. I mean, computers, but it does have the power cells, so I'll grab it. Do I need an AI move? Do I need an AI move block? I might take that with me. Anything else in here? Just an inset light. Okay, cool. 2 batteries and an AI move block. Really don't know what I might, if ever, use that for, but that's kind of the deal with this stuff. Just because you don't know what you're going to use it for doesn't mean you're not going to use it. Oh, myself stuck in there. Put these neatly on the blocks, then we can lock them down. Cool. Now I'd hope I find something else soon. There is something so peaceful about driving through these dunes. Because this planet wasn't originally intended to be at the scale that we've made it. So we made this at 120... Oh, nice. Found something. 120 kilometers diameter. Whereas it's meant to be a bit smaller, so these dunes have ended up much larger and more grand than they might have otherwise been. And I quite like it. Oh, that's a bit more air than I should have gotten there. Whoopsie. What is going on there? Why is there a floating thing? What? I'm gonna have to investigate that. I think someone might have built that. It's up in the hills. Oh, no, that one's close up. What direction is that in? That is just east of east-southeast. Okay. Just do a loop around and then park myself facing the correct direction, because I always manage to forget that, even if I try to take proper note of it. Right, what do we got here? We got a cargo container. I can see that already. Medium cargo on this jalopy. And in this petrol station, which probably could be turned into a very basic bar. Maybe I could take something like this in the future, but I'm not super keen on that. Certainly not high on my list of things to add to my base. Even though a refueling spot would make a lot of sense. At least aesthetically. Not really what I want. More tools. Efficient welder. Some space credits. And a basic hand drill. Alright, let's repair this medium cargo and steal it. Uh-oh. Why isn't this moving? Do I have a sneaky landing gear? I do have a sneaky landing gear in there. That would explain a lot. I was wondering why that didn't fall off when I stopped grabbing it. Alright, medium cargo's on. Anything else around here? Were there any little batteries in the sky? It's in the front. No. Okay, cool. Got all the bits I need then. I'm getting out of here. Oh no, there is a little battery in here. The couple. Oh, glad I looked in there. More little batteries equals more lampposts. On to my next scrap. What do I got? 3, 4 little batteries. 4 lampposts. Not bad. One of the things that a few people mentioned with the lampposts, which I think is probably a good idea, is taking advantage of the fact that I can disconnect the batteries. Most people were suggesting that I use merge blocks, but I think I probably will just... Well, I'll merge block the batteries on, but then grind off both the merge blocks that are being used. So that the lamppost remains fairly sleek and it doesn't end up with those extra blocks needed on it. But because I can use the advanced welding mod to grind a single block off, that's all fine, that'll work. Without issue. No. Another service station. This one's got a shed, though. What is in the shed? Oh, there's something over there. Let's line myself up. Oh, another cargo. Nice. Another medium cargo for my truck. What's in the shed? Oh, this place is a treasure trove of computer parts. Oh, wait, no, these are all inset lights. Nuts. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, fully built gyro. There are close to 10 computers in here. It's not too bad, actually. Let's grind down all these cargo containers because I don't need them. Ooh, some grids in that one. Oh, and 5 computers in this air vent. Worked out quite nicely that I've been given a pair of medium cargo containers when I accidentally left without emptying the last ones. Emptying the existing ones. You know what I reckon's going to happen, though? I'm going to get these perfectly filled out. I'm going to have them all exactly as I wanted them. Oh, my. And then I'm going to find a large cargo container. Oh, I didn't check if this was empty. I'm guessing it's not. It is not handling as nicely as it usually does. But got there anyway. Oh yeah, had a couple of grids in it. Alright, need to use the crane to get that gyro. Can't see any batteries in this guy. What's in the service station? Probably going to be even more tools that I don't really need at this point. Oh, plushie. Got a plushie out of that one. Enhanced grinder. Okay. Wonder if I could manage an enhanced grinder. Not the tier of what I'm using. Feels too risky though. Alright, let's get that gyro on board and then head on to the next thing, which I haven't spotted yet. Because I wasn't paying attention. I don't think the trailer on this truck has ever looked this organized before. Look at this. Got a gyro there. batteries. They're all individually locked, all neatly stacked. A little bit proud of myself for that. I'm not normally like that. Oh, forgot to check the dumpster. Can't avoid dumpster diving. Like if we have a look, computers got 33, 57, 47, if I can maths, 49. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Right, I'm gonna go up that hill. It's almost certainly a player-owned grid, but I'm so curious as to what is on top of that mountain. I can see a bit more of it now. It's just a bunch of blocks as far as I can tell. Oh, and there's scrap on the far side of the mountain. Perfect. Heading 4 dots left of northeast. Huh. That was not what I was expecting to see. What is this meant to be? There's a abandoned survival kit inside. I think someone was making a little home on the hills. Just prepping for some stuff, but seems like some core bits might be missing. Ah, but there's scrap beacons here, so it's saved. Okay, so yeah, someone's building their house on top of the hill. Solid views. Can't fault the real estate. Well picked, Amenifighter. Well picked. Now. 4 dots left of what did I say? I think I can see it anyway. Some scrap stuff there. Handy. And not a bad hill to have to drive up. Like, it's not the easiest drive, but it's not a bad one. Well, that's a fairly smooth drive down. It's got a little water tower. And another little shed. What's in the shed? Ah! A gun! A gun is in the shed. Also northeast. 1 dot left of northeast. Let's move the rover to face that heading. And also not get it in the line of fire. Oh, wait, no, let's face that. It's a bit closer. That way. And also is not heading close to the direction that that gun was shooting. Ah. Disabled. I'm always happy when I find one of these because we do need to collect some ammunition for the eventual polar expeditions, which I'm going to start more seriously planning for once I've got my base in the kind of arrangement that I was hoping to get it into. So, soon, but not too soon. Because I think once we start getting the fuel, the process will be very much along the lines of let's get going. Now, I have managed to capture this warfare battery without damaging any power cells. Yeah. And I even did that while distracted because I was talking. Yeah. I will call that a significant win. Also, I'm pretty sure that that first thing I said that was like northeast was actually closer than the second thing I spied. Oh well. I am pointed at some scrap that I know is there, so good enough. Now let's grab this other medium cargo container. Or what is the third medium cargo container I've added to the truck today? Which is just delightful. I should drag this with me rather than making the journey multiple times. I think I've placed as many as I want heading down this way. May do one more, but I think I'm going to start placing them toward the rear of the truck now. So how many containers do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see how well this cyan works out in terms of making it obvious that I'm getting close. Oh yeah. It's subtle, but it's visible. Probably more subtle to you guys with video compression, but still, it does work. Ah, it's a bit more visible on the trailer there. Alright, locked down. Easy. I'm doing quite well today. I haven't found the big structures that I'm looking for, which is disappointing, but have found all of the small things that I was looking for. Which actually, in a way, is probably better, because if I find all of the little things that I need, then that really does encourage me to go and make a flyer. Because with a flyer, I can very easily and rapidly assess scrap to see whether it's the big thing I need. Assessing for whether it's got all the little components that I want or things like that is a bit more of a hassle, but if it's just looking at, is this a rail bridge? Is this a bar? No, 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 no. I can just move on. And so I should be able to find those quite quickly, so it actually works out well. Or I'm just convincing myself of that. Either way. If I'm a bit happier about it, I guess that still works. Sure, why not? Service stations galore today. And after that last shed, I am parking on the non-door side. Oh, thruster, nice. Couple of thrusters, actually. More little batteries. Seems like all I'm getting is service stations today. Since I'm going to need to use the crane to get these onto the truck anyway, I'm going to merge block them together with the gyroscope that's in there. Make them into one nice, easy chunk. Subtle change in color with the light is actually being quite useful to me. That'll be left side, second block. There we go. Sweet. So 2 thrusters, 2 gyros, some number of small batteries, a big battery, a couple of antennas, and then the antenna I should make every effort to remember to place one onto my flyer, because with no jetpack, if I accidentally get out of the cockpit because I'm using a camera and I accidentally exit it and double tap F or something like that, I need to make sure I've got a remote control on there that I can bring it back down to whatever spot I've ended up being stuck in. So otherwise you got to wait for the thing to crash, and ugh, don't want to do that. Oh, that's right, I was meant to add my scrap beacon back onto this, because I'd moved it, and I have completely forgotten to do that. I have to try and remember when I get home. Oh, I'm just flashed up. Did not mean to be heading towards anything, but got lucky, because I hadn't noted any of the things that had popped up while I was scrapping that place, so just kind of headed blindly and hoped for the best. Oh, oh! Billboard? And truck. What does the truck have on it? Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? It is what I think it is! Oh yeah. Hydrogen tank! A big hydrogen tank! Oh! Hadn't even been thinking about these. I thought that was going to be so far off that I was just like, no, I'm not going to get one of them. Yes! Yes! That's something I don't need today, but is something I will need when we inevitably try to leave this place. Yes! That's great. Let's strip down the sides of this and get this off. There's also what appears to be a solar panel in this billboard, so I might try and grab that to complete the solar awning on the side of my little house. Little mechanics bay building that I've got. The one with the pit. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to need at least one of these. There we go. Have a tank. Just got to put it safely on the truck. And I should also try and cut out... Oh, that's not an actual ladder.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Oh, that was close to smacking me on the head. Ah. Need to remember not to be an idiot and place this at the very back of the trailer so that I can still use my crane to put other things on. Right, we'll put the tank on first, I think. Then I'll get that solar panel. So part of the reason that I wasn't really fretting about the ice situation was that I knew if I hadn't found these tanks, there wasn't really much point in fretting about it because I wasn't going to be able to do anything with any fuel that we managed to collect. I know other people have managed to collect these, but I kind of wanted them for myself as well. So that was a big part of being like, meh, why rush? I don't think that's going to change now that I've found one, but it certainly means that I'm now, well, now I feel more in control of when I decide to do that. In fact, I may have to head home after this, because that trailer is going to look very full when there's solar panels on there. There we go. Tank is safely on, although slightly off center, which is not great, but it'll be fine. Probably. Yeah, I think I'm heading home after this. This is very full. Alright. Wonkily placed solar panel. Hydrogen tank. Unexpected. And yeah. Home. 16 Ks. Let's hope I don't explode the solar panel or the hydrogen tank. Actually, it's not that big a deal if I explode the solar. It's not that big a deal if I explode the solar panel. I don't have the solar cells to build it anyway, or the one that I have at home. So it is purely decorative. Oh, it's also getting on 5 PM. The sun is going to be setting, so my scrapping day is done regardless. Not a bad haul. Certainly encourages me to go and set up a flyer. Oh! Oh, whoa, whoa. I just had an idea that had not occurred to me before. Is this the thing I scrapped already? So one of the reasons I hadn't been using, I thought, it's not that much of a reason to rush towards a flying thing, was because if I went with a flyer, yeah, that's the one I've already scrapped. If I went with a flyer, I can find something, but if it can't carry it home, I don't have any easy means to do things. But what if I make the flyer so it has a separate, cockpit module that is detachable and can fly itself as well? So the idea would be I have a larger platform that's got the large atmospheric thrusters that I found on it. Hopefully I find a few more so that it can lift even more than it would be able to at present. Have that set up with a cockpit, have that base module set up with power, with the scrap beacon, and all of the other necessary bits and pieces, maybe a bit of cargo, that sort of thing. Then, the little cockpit module is just set up with bare minimum amount of thrust to get itself up in the air and to safely fly. Then, when I get to scrap that I can't deal with the flying module, I fly home, I grab this, drive to where the scrap beacon is, pick up the thing, drive home, fly back out, and go and collect my thing. I know that's a lot of extra journeys, but creating the possibility of being able to do that surely makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. The other nice thing I think about getting into a flyer is a flyer can keep up with the sun. I can keep going in the direction of the sun, and I can actually keep in daylight as I go, which very much excites me for being able to scrap longer into the day, or do longer sessions searching for specific parts. Yeah, the ideas are coming together. Probably start laying something out. I don't think I've got all the parts I need to make the flyer that I want to make, but I'm probably not too far off, so I can start laying something out when I get home. Whoa. I think I've stumbled on some sort of industrial base. Is this someone's base, or is this all scrap? I think this is untouched scrap. Aw, man. I'm gonna have to have a look. I can at least get some componentry from this. Some explosions have happened here. Interesting. I don't think you've got anything I want. Random motor. What's over here? Why did all this explode? Why are there divots? That shouldn't happen. Maybe someone has been here and gotten some bits that they wanted, and maybe they had to drill out some stuff? Or something exploded. Maybe up here. Because that doesn't look right either. Don't think there's going to be any parts that I specifically want here from looking around. This all seems to be pretty basic. I'll just check in this little room over here. Okay, someone's totally been here.
Inventory full.
Huh. Wonder who got here before me. Because that room was totally cleared out. Someone must be nearby. Cool. I don't think I've ever come this close to running into someone without having it be planned. That makes me happy. Alright, I guess I'll grab these conveyors here. I wonder if I'll spot them. I wonder how long ago it was, actually. It could have been a while ago that they were here. I was hoping at some point I would just run into someone out in the wilds, but time zones are a thing. Oh, that ramp. It works so well. That was so easy. Didn't even have to line to it. Happy with those constructions. Now I just got to offload everything and get it in the right spots. And probably clean up. I need to figure out somewhere safe to put this hydrogen tank. I don't want it floating loose. I know it's empty, but I really don't want to lose it. It's high value. So I want to make it secure somewhere. I might make a pallet specifically for it and just lock it down in here. In fact, a lot of pallets are not locked. Yeah, it needs a pallet. So what I think I'm going to do is make a pallet on the base of this hydrogen tank and actually build it directly onto it. Because that should make it maybe a bit safer and a bit easier to offload. Well, at least a bit safer to offload. Because I have something to put it onto. It feels weird building a pallet attached to the upper end of this tank, but it's easily exposed right now. It's not dangling on the end of a crane, so it's not jiggling, which makes it a lot easier to do this. And rather than having to merge block it down to a pallet that I've built on the ground, this seemed like a better option, I guess. Made sense to me when I thought of it. And now I'm doing it. No. Oh, how did I get up there the first time, and now I can't get up again? Get on. No. No, why? Oh, hold up. Here we go. On the wheel. Onto the truck. To the roof. Over I go. And I made it. It was more complicated than it needed to be. Okay, now get the crane, offload that. Get the telehandler, put it inside the shed. The warehouse. I'm going to try and grab it from underneath so I can flip this over more easily. Which means bringing this down, going to my digital controls and flicking this up to there, and this all the way, the rest of the way around. Then I should be able to extend that under, grab like, is that pretty good? That looks pretty good to me. Grab that. Now I'm going to have to get out and manually unlock because I did not remain attached to the truck trailer thing. There we go. It's free. Easy. Just flick it around. Try and straighten it up, and I should be able to drop this pretty safely onto the pallet. It's the bottom. Like that. Nice. Been thinking about these other pallets as I was planning on making this one, and I think I overcomplicated it. I think I should just put a control panel on these rather than full connectors. I don't think I'm ever actually going to use those connectors much as I thought I was going to. It doesn't seem all that likely. So I'm just going to have a control panel so I can access all the mag plates and auto lock and unlock them and do stuff when I need to do them. To do it. Now, where did I leave my telehandler? Ah, good, I did park. Lift it up. And I can very delicately move around this rather heavy object. But I'm very happy to have that securely inside my warehouse. Look at that. Nice. Let's lock it down. Very happy. Cool. I might actually be able to use the telehandler to offload a bunch of the other stuff. Because there are a couple of things on there that I can't manhandle. Thrusters that are on there, and the gyros, and the battery. But I think it'll be much quicker to offload with the telehandler than it will be to offload with, say, the crane, and then the telehandler to move them around the yard. Yes, much quicker. Much, much quicker. Cool. So I'm going to offload everything, and then, whoops, and then I am going to start designing the cockpit, the detachable cockpit module for the scrap searcher thingamajig. Because I figure if I designed the cockpit module, then that's something I can actually utilize before I design the lifter module. And I feel like I want a bit more time to think about the lifter module because I'm not 100% sure how I want to go about it. Largely because I'm not 100% sure of what functions it needs to fulfill. It basically needs to be lots of thrusters, but then something that can actually attach to things without those thrusters burning a hole in the thing that I'm attached to. I haven't quite thought of an interesting way to do that just yet. There are a few options I've contemplated, obviously, with regards to keeping the thrusters away from the thing that I've grabbed. One of them being make a wide platform so that I've got the ability to grab in the center and the thrusters out on the outside. Or conversely, a bunch of thrusters at the rear with a long arm that sticks out the front. Or even just a little arm that sticks out the front and I grab things on the side rather than on the top. But I haven't decided which one of those I like the most. So I gotta think about that a bit more. But regardless of that, I can work on a way to make the cockpit module function anyway. Oh, I unlocked the wrong thing. That's why I don't usually use build vision on this. Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy with this telehandler. It works. It does everything that I want it to do. And it does it relatively quickly and easily. And it means I can move stuff around my yard quite quickly. Whoopsie. That could have been bad. Does mean that I tend to reverse into things that I probably shouldn't, but oh well. I think the rest of that I can carry by hand. Let's just grab this solar panel. And that's all I need to do. Figure if I move the solar panel off here and put it around the side, then it makes it much easier when I go around there with my crane to put it into position properly. There's no rush for that because the thing doesn't function anyway. This drill back inside, I'll sort it out, getting it on the actual wall later. Alright, last bit off. I don't have a pallet for this as yet, so I'll just chuck it there. Cleaned up a few of the other bits around here. In fact, I should probably clear up that, because that should go over here. Grab a couple of merge blocks. Feels good. Having most of this done. Now, I'm organized and can start... Well, I'll clear the deck by putting this truck away, and then I'm going to start the design of this flyer. Oh! Oh. No. Oh. Okay. That is one aspect of building this up on a platform that does make it a bit more dangerous. Though probably safer having no railing than having a railing, given how I was able to just barely get out of that. Oh, crunch, crunch. So for a basic flyer, I need to have a decent battery, which I conveniently have in the battery that I collected on that run. So I got this one here. Do I have any other larger batteries? I'm not sure that I do, actually. Oh, wow. How did I... Huh. I completely forgot that I literally only had that one battery. Oh, no, wait! I have these. I have these two here. Yep. Yep. I have the two on my dancing forklift, which I should probably just get rid of at this point. Anyway. Do I want to use the warfare batteries? Can I finish repairing this battery, actually? Okay, so I got two batteries. And I probably will want two batteries on the flyer. Because I'll have because it's going to need a fair bit of power. I'm going to have to go out and search for some more batteries for the lifting component. But this thing might need to fly for some fairly significant distances. So I want to start with a good amount of stored power. Now, can I get enough leverage to tip this over? Yep, good. Alright, so I've got a battery. I'll imagine where the other battery is going to go. We need a cockpit or a helm. I think I'll go cockpit though. And we need at least 2 thrusters in each direction. Probably wanting more than 2 as lift, just in case I end up using this as an emergency way to carry something home. So maybe 4 lifting thrusters, and then 2 in each direction. It's a lot harder to map these things out when you can't place the necessary blocks just to see where they go. Which makes it quite interesting. I've got enough metal grids. Could I use an industrial cockpit? Because I quite like them for this sort of thing. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get this battery in place where I think it needs to be. So I'm thinking is a gap of 3 blocks between the 2 batteries. Haha. Okay. So, top of this battery is the one with the dots, with the lights, and this is the one with the circular bits. So, let's try this. And there we go. That's better. That's me being pedantic. It's the sort of thing that I would notice later and be like, oh, I want to fix that. But it's too much work now because everything's attached to it. So because I've thought of it now, I'm fixing it now. Just make sure that this is in fact enough space. It's 3 blocks apart, going to be enough. It'll be enough to fit the thrusters in. I don't have any size restrictions on how big I make this module. It's just I want this module to not have the large thrusters on it. So the large lifting thrusters, they'll go on the other part of this thing. There we go. Battery's connected. Actually, I think this is going to look better if I move the industrial cockpit down another block. So I'm going to need to make this raised on a piston. If I go a little bit higher with the piston, it actually makes this process easier, because I can then just crouch, place a old school landing gear, and then this will lift it. Rather than having to do the whole shenanigans with my jetpack and rotating underneath and all that stuff. This is much simpler. And industrial cockpit like that. Yeah, I think that could be quite neat. Then, the other thing that's large that I need to decide the location of is the merge block. And I'm thinking merge block could go somewhere like there. With the carrier segment, oh, it could be like 2 little legs that branches, hang on. Look from the back here. That branches like this, comes down, angled down out to the sides, and then shoots forward. So it can land on those, but it can also grab in the middle. And then I can slot this over the top of that gap. Yeah, that could look quite cool. Now, I obviously can't put this in yet, because I gotta get some thrusters and gyroscopes and other things into this gap. And the antenna and a remote control block. In fact, let's place the remote control block before I forget, because that is definitely going to be forgotten. How to best get thrusters in there. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 for lift. So that puts them neatly in the middle there. I can put the gyros on like blocks in the middle once I've got... Oh, maybe I should make... Oh, maybe I shouldn't have attached the battery yet. Maybe I have to detach one of the batteries and then make a little module of the thrusters and gyros and then reattach the battery once I've locked it in there. Although I probably only need 1 gyro, so I could possibly put it just on top of the remote control. That might be simpler. Let's do that. Would that be easier if I... No, I need to use weld pads anyway, so let's grind that block out. Okay, got the gyro. Was actually a little easier than I expected. Having the light in the position that it's in, the sun, where it is actually making this quite a lot simpler than it might otherwise be. Come on, you're so close. 99%, 99%. Maybe it'll get there if I unlock. Yes. Nice. So the remaining things that I need to do with the crane are going to be all the thrusters. And that should be it. The rest of it I should be able to do without any crane work. Oh no. I think my thrusters are all pointing in different directions. I was just thinking, is there a way I can cut off 6 of these at once? And just put 6 in instead of 4? But no, they're all pointing in opposite directions. I'm going to need to move them one by one. Ah, dear. And yes, I'm going to have a mix of sci-fi and regular because, well, that's what I've got a mix of. So I was just thinking, if I use the regular ones on the internal bit, they'll be fairly hidden. But do I even have enough for that? 1, 2, 3. No, I don't. The rest are sci-fis. Okay, I guess I'll just use sci-fis then. Some other project or some other part of it. Wait a second. If I do 4 lifting thrusters, do I even have enough thrusters? If I'm not using the sci-fi, the regular ones. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 thrusters. 13 thrusters. So if I've got 4 lift, and then I've got another 8. Oh. Because for the other 4 directions, I've got to 2 each. Right. Okay. I'm actually not as comfortable on making this flyer as I thought I was going to be. I'm going to have to go out and get more bits for it. Like, I can make this part of it just, but to make any other bit of it is going to be challenging because I've only got those two larges up there. And I really need more than that if I'm going to be carrying a mass with it rather than just carrying itself. Okay, those two sci-fis stuck together. Then I'm going to stick 2 regulars on there. I'm going to use up every single one of my thrusters on this thing. Well, my smaller thrusters, except for the flatmost. Ooh, I just realized something. I don't know which way these point. Like, I'm not confident on which way this is pointing. Oh, now I am. But on its previous build state, I really wasn't confident. Thought it was that way, but it's much harder to tell. There we go. And this one also needs to get welded up to make sure I don't mess it up. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these 2 regular Atmo thrusters on top of that one and of that one. Then that gets slipped in as a module where there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 around in a U shape inside here. And the merge block goes on the back. And then I have to decide where I'm going to put the maneuvering thrusters. I may not have left myself enough room here. Might try and move these by hand first. Move it out of the way. Alright, this will just barely work. Ugh, why do I make my life so hard? Even with something like this, just bad. Just bad. There we go. Little thruster module. I wonder if I could make it so that I don't need the crane for this. Just need to be able to place a couple more blocks on top of that, and I can lever it over and get it on the correct orientation. Then I should be able to use the telehandler to do the rest. Okay, might need a longer lever arm. Oh wait, what am I doing? I've got a stronger force than that thing can do. I've got this. Yeah. All right. Why did I want to tip it that way? Yeah. Nice. There is a minuscule chance that this will fit in with the batteries in place, so I'm going to try anyway and see if I can get this to fit in between the 2 batteries that I placed without removing one of them. But I think it's rather likely I'm going to have to remove one of the batteries and then replace it. But as long as I don't push too hard, there's no real harm in trying this. Again, working in a space that could have been a lot more... I could have given myself so much more space to work with here, and I have made it so hard. Why? Why did I build so close to the warehouse? I mean, if it was nighttime, I'd probably feel better about it, because it'd be lighter. There'd be an advantage of it. But given it's daytime, and everywhere is bright, it really feels like I've just made my life hard for no good reason. Ooh, okay. That's starting to fit in, which means I need to get some ability to lock it down ready. Hey! They got there! Yeah! Let's turn off these thrusters. So they're going nuts. Alright, let's turn off my dampeners and turn the thrusters back on. 5 thrusters in place. Very confident that I have enough parts for them. But I do wonder whether I'm overconfident. Oh no, I got 485 motors. I've got plenty of motors. So technically, I have a flyer that is capable of flying right now. Not flying in a way that's easy to control, but it is capable of flying now. I'm going to move my crane out of the way because it's kind of annoying. And then figure out where I'm going to put these side thrusters. Not much point having a remote without an antenna. For the antenna... No, don't place a rotor. That's not what I wanted to do. Place a merge block there. And a merge block on the bottom of the antenna. Let's see if I can get that into that space between the thrusters. I think it's unlikely. I think I'm going to struggle to do that, but I'm going to try anyway. I know I was able to squeeze in the thrusters, but it's all about the collisions these... Oh no, I got it. Never mind. Take it back. Collisions on the thrusters are clearly small enough that makes that possible. Nice. So, got the antenna, got the gyro, got batteries, got lifting thrust. Where to put lateral thrust? Let's put the merge block on so I can get a bit of an idea of where that's going to give us room. The reason I want a large merge block is just style. I think for something like this, a large merge block on small grid just looks a bit better. And it kind of works at the same scale. If I was going to put a small merge block, I'd probably put more than one. And then that makes it awkward, and I don't like the competing forces of two merge blocks trying to merge something, so I'd rather just have one. And that's what made me decide to do just one. Because I was thinking about that a fair bit between when I recorded the first part of this video and this part. Because I was like, oh, do I do small merge blocks? Do I do big? And I genuinely think the big one is the better option. Now, would it look alright to put the reverse thrusters underneath the batteries? Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it. Okay, so underneath the battery will be a one forward, one reverse, and then same one forward, one reverse on this side. Then on top, I'll have my left and right thrusters. And the reason to do the left and rights on top and the forward back below is the thruster exhaust from the lifting thrusters would stop me putting left-right thrusters down here unless they stuck out a whole block further to the side, which I dislike the idea of doing. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do that. So let's line up a couple of thrusters ready to go for that and merge them up. So for the forward backs, I want the thrusters pointing in opposite direction, which conveniently these two already are. So I just need to go grab the stuff for a couple of merge blocks and stick them together. Then I'll do the same with two more. Then we can slot them underneath. Okay, so for slotting these underneath, I think what I'll do is place a merge block there. So this one will go under that side. Yeah, and then I think another merge block like this. I think I've got that right. So if this one slides under the left-hand side, that'll put the reverse thruster on the outer. Yep. And if this one slots under the right-hand side, that'll put the reverse thrust on the outer. Yeah, cool. Just wanted to make sure I mirrored these correctly. So what I should be able to do with those merge blocks like that is then go and add a merge block simply like this. And like, oh, that's going to be a really annoying one to get. I'm going to have to move piston. Okay, piston moved. Also giving myself the ability to go a fair bit higher, which is going to be helpful. So there was something underneath I wanted to clean up. These blocks here. So what I want to have is a full block in there. And then probably some 2x1 slopes here. Yep. Okay, cool. Now that should be ready for the telehandler to grab the thrusters and stick them underneath. Hey, locked. Got my forward backs, got my lifting thrust. Now all I need is my left and right, and I've got a simple to fly flying thing, and my first flying thing. I've actually managed to, I really hope, properly do the symmetry on this thing, which is really great. Let's drop it down a bit lower so I can get up top with the telehandler on the next bits. Kind of glad I waited till this point to build a flyer, because being able to just build something... Wait, is that already... No. Being able to build something that has a good number of thrusters from the beginning is going to make it much less likely for me to end up destroying some of my thrusters. Oh no! No! There is going to be some asymmetry. There's another... Ah, I messed up. I messed up. There's a regular Atmo thruster there. It's going to be the wonky ear on my flyer. Aww. What I should have done was done in the 5 lifting thrusters, done 3 regular Atmos and 2 sci-fi, but I did 3 sci-fi and 2 regular. Stuffed it up. Dang. I was close though. And if I find more sci-fi thrusters, this is fixable, because conveniently I'll make sure that it's one of the outer ones, which any of the ones on top really are. So it'll be relatively easy to replace and fix. Can't believe it. Had to happen, and I had to realize just after I've said, look at how good I've done at making this symmetrical. I've put effort in here. It was working. It's not. Oh. Oh, man. Piston's in the way again. Ah, dear. I have an idea, though. If I can get this roughly into the right spot, doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be close, I can then come around the other side with the telehandler and get it back in, get it into place properly. Lucky that the telehandler has a lot of reach. A lot more reach than it has any right to have. It doesn't really need it. Oh, I locked it into place anyway! Yeah! Go the good drop. Alright. Yes. Yes. Something I just thought of that might be useful. I'm not sure where I would fit it best on here. Could be some event controllers, or an event controller, that anytime the cockpit is occupied, the antenna switches off. Anytime the cockpit is unoccupied, the antenna switches itself on, which may save a bit of power. But if I set the antenna range to something relatively short, because it doesn't need to be long for my purposes. In fact, if I'm trying to... oh no, I should make it... I may fly high enough that I need to drive something underneath it. So we'll turn that on. Oh, what the heck. It's not... 20 kilowatts is not a huge amount of usage. It'll be fine. I'll leave it at 5Ks. That way, if I need to, I may be able to remote in from my rover from further away. Which makes sense. Ooh, a camera. A camera would be really helpful. Glad I didn't forget that. Cameras are very important if you're remote controlling something and can't see it anymore because it's too high up. One camera. There we go. Okay. So, we've got all the necessary thrust. We've got 2 warfare batteries, both currently fully charged. I've got a merge block, which I'll have toggle block on off for. And I should create a group of the thrusters. I don't know what I want to call this thing, so give me some suggestions. Control seat thrusters, I'll call it for now. Because I want to be able to turn the thrusters on and off. And I probably need to keep these as manual controls because trying to use event controllers to lock this down, well, to turn things on and off and control it properly when I'm using merge blocks is, let's say, iffy in terms of reliability. Is there anything else I need to do? I don't think there is. I'm going to remove this landing gear and the piston. And then... oh, lights might be nice too. Yeah, let's do lights before I fly. Plus a little bit of decorative piece. I'm going to go with the same color scheme as on my little lifter here. My telehandler. Because I quite like it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this little guy. Last thing I want to do, just hover a little bit higher. And I want to put little skids on. Little landing skids. So I'm not landing on my cockpit and my thrusters. I hate the way that the hazards don't line up on most instances. It's really unfortunate. Yeah. This looks like a working vehicle. And I still feel like, even though I've painted it and I've done decoration on it, it still feels rough and ready enough to like fit in with the scrapyard and things. Yeah. I'm really happy with this. I have a flying machine. I have a flying machine that I think probably has enough thrust to almost fly completely sideways. It's flexible. It's flyable. And all I need to do is build some sort of... well, I was going to say build a charging apparatus for this, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to build the charging apparatus for the thing this is going to connect to. Rather than building something onto the base specifically for this. Something fun that's going to probably need to be done with this. Oh, I had a thought. Should I do that? I know I said I was going to build a custom thing for this, but what if I just cut off the front of the helicopter and slap this on the front? Put thrusters on the helicopter. No, there's too much extra weight on that. I still want to mess around with the helicopter later, but that'll be more for having some fun with it rather than making it a functional thing. I'm going to make a thing that's custom. I'm so happy with this. This is great. Yay. Cool. So if you've got any ideas for a name for this, because I currently don't, please let me know. Next week, hopefully I'll find enough thrusters that I can make sure that I can build this thing up and build its lifter component. If I don't, maybe I'll find something else that'll inspire some other parts of the build of this base, so we can get on to more progress towards the pole. So there's all that, and plenty more to come. And I will see you then.